About a month ago or so, we brought you information on a Poway election. Somebody got elected in Poway and to their city council, and that was not the person we endorsed, unfortunately. And this person turned out to be an absolute soup sandwich. Councilman Tony Blaine in Poway, Republican, was a complete disaster. He's abusing power. He's only been in office a couple of months. In fact, I think he's only about 3 months into his term. We talked about how he's already using law enforcement to go after his political enemies and done some things that are absolutely questionable. So he's now facing a recall effort. After colleagues and critics accused Blaine of vote trading, bribery, harassment, bullying, and retaliation since taking office, residents gave Blaine a notice of intent to recall just before a city council meeting. This happened on March 18th. More than 60 residents signed it, and it officially kicks off an effort to force a recall election to remove Blaine from office. This is Voice of San Diego, by the way. Voice of San Diego previously reported that the Poway City Council censured or officially reprimanded. That's what a censure is. Tony Blaine last month after public emails revealed Blaine attempting to vote trade with another council member, which is illegal, by the way. When you say, hey, I'll vote for your whatever if you do this for me, that's illegal. Dozens of emails going back several months also show Blaine, who represents District 2, threatening and harassing elected officials and city staff members on multiple occasions, including City Attorney Alan Feinstermacher, I don't know how to say his last name, who accused Blaine of bullying and harassment at a January 21 city council meeting. You know, it's really bad when you bully and harass voters. It's really bad when you bully and harass your fellow city council members. But the city attorney,
yeah, that's kind of bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah, really bad.
Now, the city attorney, a lot of people don't really understand what a city attorney does. The city attorney is the attorney for the city. Like, that's your attorney, as a city council member. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Now, the city attorney, for example, in the city of San Diego, she's gone now. There's a new one, but Mara Elliott thought that she was a prosecutor. She thought she was a district attorney. She didn't understand her job at all. But what you're supposed to do is, protect the city council. And he was bullying and harassing his own attorney. Not a good idea.
Nope.
The council's censure of Blaine was the first in Poway's 45-year history. Since then, calls for Blaine to resign have grown louder, and with even the city mayor, Steve Voss, urging Blaine to resign. But Blaine isn't budging. So interesting. So interesting. I'm so glad. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. This guy really is a piece of work. He's a piece of work. So that's what's going to happen. Now, if they recall him, what'll happen is they got to get enough signatures, and they have to get enough votes, and then of course he'll get kicked out of office. But at the same time, they're going to need to fill that spot. I'm already looking for folks. The guy that we endorsed, I'm hoping that he will decide to run again. Now, they may appoint somebody. If he gets kicked out, they may not have a full election. They may just decide to appoint somebody. They have that option. So if they appoint somebody, very little control. We can, over who they appoint. I mean, you can, influence the city council, but it's pretty much up to them. So I hope they get it right. But I got to tell you, when you stick it out there and say, hey, this guy's doing something really wrong, and you're as harsh on him as I was, when something like this happens, when there's a recall, and the citizens go, yeah, this guy is horrible, it definitely, you feel justified.
Yeah, definitely.
But Tony Blaine, get out of here, man. Just read the writing on the wall and get the hell out. He just an absolute abuse of power. Just leave. Just leave. You don't have to go away mad. Just go away.
Is he friends with Waltz? Considering they're doing the same thing?
I don't know. Good question. Really. He, I don't know. I know he's a physician. I know he's in the military, or at least the reserves or guard or something like that. But he should be nowhere near power. He should be nowhere near power. He's absolutely abused it. He's lost the trust. So beat it. So hopefully the recall will start. So if you live in Poway, get involved in that recall. They need every recall effort needs help. Get involved. Contact them directly and say, hey, what can I do? You know, if they need a signature, sign it. If they need more signatures than just yours, then help get signatures. But let's get this guy out of here. Let's get him out of here. So that's Tony Blaine. This was interesting too.
This, if I may
sure.
add some briefly. As important as it is to take a strong stand against corruption and other abuses of power when the person involved is someone someone from the opposite political party, if this is the United States, it's even more important to take a strong stand against this kind of thing when someone from your own party or your own political faction. I'm talking to you, all the people inside my computer listening to this show. I know most of you are not naive. Most of you probably tend to vote Republican. And if you don't say anything about this, if you don't speak up and demand this guy's recall, even if that just means the next time you have a conversation about local politics with your friends, going like, man, I think this guy's a real scumbag and he should be removed from office or remove himself from office. And, if you don't take a stand against this, then what that does is it signals to all of the people who are either registered Democrats or to vote Democrat that, well, they think it's acceptable when their guy does it. So why don't we do it?
I couldn't agree with you more. I got to tell you, I get so much crap from Republicans when I criticize Republicans. And I always think to myself and sometimes say, you got to keep your own house clean. Like you got to really, Republicans should be harder on Republicans than they are on Democrats. Democrats should be harder on Democrats than they are on Republicans. If you get somebody who's bad, whether, they might agree with you on every subject, maybe Tony Blaine, the Republican in Poway, maybe he agrees with you on taxes and immigration and maybe even the Second Amendment, who knows? But if they're a scumbag, that's going to stain everything that you're trying to accomplish on all your hot button topics. So it frustrates me. It entertains me. It makes me laugh when Republicans get mad at me when I criticize Republicans for being, bad people, or when I criticize Republicans like Tony Blaine as being a very bad person, or when I criticize Republicans for not towing the line, not doing what Republicans say they're going to do. Republicans, giving somebody a pass is just absolutely wrong. I've said it before. I'll say it again. When you're talking to an elected official, treat them like the same way you would treat an underperforming employee. If you're treating them better or if you're treating them worse, then you're probably making a mistake. Don't completely destroy them and say they're horrible and you'll never vote for them because they don't have any motivation to change. But then also don't tell them, hey, you walk on water and everything you say is gold and no matter what you do, I'm going to support you, because they're not going to respect you. They think that you're they got you in their back pocket. So telling them, well, gee golly gosh, you did this right, but this other thing over here really stinks. I don't know. You got an election coming up. Maybe I'll vote for you. Maybe I won't. That's the way to handle elected officials, especially when they're in your party. So I'm glad you said that, Sam. I completely 100% agree with you. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.